Hey there, this is your pal Pally, and welcome back to Git Er Raid. It's time for Heroic Siege of Orgrimmar, and we start at the start. Immerseus Heroic. Here's your chance to kill yourself by mashing your buttons hard, and Phase 1 is jealous of Phase 2, so now it gets ads. I'll assume you are familiar with the normal mode mechanics, and they all still apply to this fight. We did it with 2 tanks and 2 heals in this footage, although 3 healing it is not a detriment to your raid at all, due to how the split phase ads work exactly like normal mode. So what are the main mechanic changes for Heroic? There is one major change for each of the regular and split phases. For the regular phase, Immerseus will cast Swelling Corruption. This gives him many stacks of a buff that does some pretty nasty things. He'll have 1 stack for every 2 corruption that he has. So at the start, he'll have 50 stacks. This means this mechanic becomes easier to deal with as the fight goes on because you are cleansing off his corruption. What do these stacks do? Well, every time anyone in the raid uses a single target damaging ability to the boss, he loses 1 stack, and that does 2 things. It first applies a stacking dot to the raid member who hit him, and then it spawns a little ad called a congealed Sha. The stacking dot is how you can kill yourself by doing hard DPS to the boss during this phase. The dot can be dispelled, but you're going to have to watch your own stacks and try not to stress your healers out. For most strategies, stopping when you hit 3 or 4 stacks is going to be about manageable. What can you do while you aren't DPSing the boss? Well, how about killing the crap ton of ads that have spawned due to everyone hitting the boss hard, as they are wont to do. The timing of Swelling Corruption is such that you'll get a Corrosive Blast, which forces a tank swap, and that means whichever tank just got freed up, it's their job to gather up as many ads as possible. There are a ton of ads. No, really. On the initial pull, the boss will have 50 stacks, so that means 50 ads will eventually all be coming out. So do your best. If 1 or 2 beats on a healer or overeager DPS, it's not terrible. Just keep rounding them up, and your DPS should be shredding through them depending on your strategy. So that about covers what changes for the regular phase. Let's cover the split phase. Besides everything hurting a bit more, the big mechanic change here is that the puddle in the middle of the room will grow, and if no one is in range to soak it, it will cover the entire room. If you stand in it, you gain a stacking dot that again will hurt you pretty badly over 3 or 4 stacks, but it's necessary to do this soaking or else the puddle will quickly swallow all of the ads in the room at the same time, which will definitely wipe your raid due to them all merging and exploding at once. For the most part, that was my responsibility. No, not wiping the raid, but soaking the puddle. It's kind of a weird mechanic, but just standing near the edge of the initial puddle seemed to keep it under control, and I always had a healer handy after the split phase to keep me up. But really, this expanding puddle mechanic isn't too tricky to deal with. Just don't forget about it. That's it. 2 mechanic changes, 1 to each phase. You still kill the boss, then kill ads, then the boss again, ads again, etc., etc. You just have the added twist of killing even more ads during the boss killing phase, and also not killing yourself due to the stacking dots. So what does this mean for strategy? Well, there are a couple ways to do this. First up, you basically want to decide your little slices of the room where you want your raid. We chose to go with a basic approach, and had the active Immerseus tank be by himself on blue square. Much of the raid was on this green triangle slice here, and then the rest of the raid was on red X. You don't want to spread out too much due to outranging your healers, but this all seemed to work out for us. I've seen kills where they have done a big rotation of these slices of the room, and that may work out for you. So for example, everyone starts on these slices, but after a tank swap, you all move left or right 1 slice, such that you'll end up with more space that isn't covered in Sha puddles. This ended up being too much movement for everyone here, so we just dealt with the rapidly shrinking space and killed the boss off quickly enough. Likewise, I've heard of guilds doing it normal mode style, with a group on each side of the boss. The only issue I see with this is that one side will have a lot of ads spawning and not being tanked. the tank is going to have to pick one side to go to, so who gets the unlucky side? Obviously there are workarounds here to deal with that, kiting ads, pet tanking, misdirects, tricks, etc., but we didn't give that one a shot. Just thought I'd mention it as a potential strategy. Beyond that, the trickiest part of this fight is pushing the stacks off of the boss quickly enough without killing yourselves with the stacking dot or the ads. What it came down to for us was basically having a couple DPS focus on the ads entirely, and then the rest of the DPS would focus on the boss, but would switch off to the ads when their stacks got to 3 or 4. The stacks fall off quickly, so it was a lot of target switching, but he lost his stacks quickly enough without people dying, and without ads overrunning the raid. One big note for the active Immerseus tank. This stacking dot applies to you as well, so be very careful or you can get up to 7 or 8 stacks without noticing. I'd recommend finding an appropriate weak auras to warn you about this. For the split phase, just do it like normal mode and have someone close to the boss to soak the growing puddle. Shouldn't be too bad if your raid is good at DPSing the ads and healing them. Lust is best done on the pull, so you can get out of that phase as quickly as possible and nuke ads down. Be careful you don't kill him off before all of the swelling corruption stacks are gone and the ads are under control. You also might want to use things like Diva Aura or other raid CDs when swelling corruption initially goes out, as the whole raid will probably have at least 2 or 3 stacks, and the boss will also likely cast Swell about this time, so you could lose someone to a combination of stacks plus Swell plus standing in Shaw puddles. Otherwise, raid CDs can be used for the split phase as the ads start to merge back in, if necessary. So, beat that corrupted puddle of a boss down over and over, kill some ads, don't kill yourself with stacks, and then soak the growing puddle in the split phase, and you'll have this thing down in no time. Thanks for watching, and please comment, like, and or subscribe to the video if you found it helpful, and have a good one!